Have you ever wondered what would happen if a zombie apocalypse broke out? Now, before you dismiss it as mere fiction, let's delve into this chilling possibility, shall we? Picture a world where the living dead roam the streets. It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, doesn't it? But what if I told you this could be a potential reality? It all starts with a virus or a disease, something that could turn a perfectly healthy person into a mindless, flesh-craving creature. Now you might be wondering, where could such a deadly virus originate from? Well, one possibility is a lab experiment gone awry. We've seen it in countless movies and TV shows, but the truth is, it's not entirely far-fetched. Scientists constantly experiment with dangerous pathogens in high-security labs, seeking cures for deadly diseases or exploring biological weapons. One small misstep, a single containment breach, could potentially unleash an unthinkable horror upon the world. Another theory is the mutation of an existing disease. Viruses are notorious for their ability to mutate. They adapt, evolve, and become more resilient. Take the flu virus, for example. It changes every single year, making it incredibly difficult to completely eradicate. Now, imagine a disease that mutates not just to survive, but to turn its host into a living nightmare. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? Now, this isn't to say that a zombie apocalypse is inevitable, but it's an interesting concept to ponder, a chilling what-if scenario that pushes the boundaries of our imagination. It makes us question our preparedness, our ability to face such a catastrophic event, and most importantly, our resilience as a species. So, it's clear that the start of a zombie apocalypse could be as simple as a single virus or disease out of control. The question is, if such a day were to come, would we be ready, or would it indeed mark the start of the end? Now that we've explored the possible causes, let's dive into how it could spread. Imagine a densely populated city, teeming with life and movement, a perfect breeding ground for a zombie apocalypse. In such a setting, the virus or disease causing the zombie transformation could spread like wildfire. Due to the high concentration of potential hosts, a single infected individual could infect dozens, if not hundreds, within hours. The crowded, bustling streets, the jam-packed public transit, the shared spaces, all become conduits for the rapid spread of the disease. But what about containment? Well, in the initial stages, it would be near impossible. The disease's unusual symptoms and its rapid spread would likely overwhelm local healthcare facilities and personnel. This lack of immediate response and containment could contribute significantly to the spread of the disease. Hospitals, often densely populated, could become hotspots for the disease, with medical staff unknowingly becoming carriers. And we haven't even considered the role of international travel yet. In our interconnected world, people jet off to far-flung corners of the globe daily. An infected individual could board a plane in New York and land in Tokyo, bringing with them the seeds of the apocalypse. This global mobility could allow the disease to leapfrog across continents, spreading from city to city, country to country, in a matter of days. This isn't just speculation. We've seen similar scenarios play out in recent pandemics, where a local outbreak quickly gained global proportions. It's a chilling reminder of our vulnerability in the face of such threats. So what starts as a localized outbreak in a single city could, through a deadly combination of dense populations, delayed containment, and international travel, spiral into a global pandemic. The dominoes would start to fall, one by one. A chain reaction that once started could be near impossible to stop. And just like that, a local outbreak could quickly become a worldwide pandemic. With a zombie apocalypse in full swing, how would humans and national security react? That's a question that sends shivers down the spine, isn't it? But let's delve into it, shall we? In this chaotic world, human reactions would vary greatly. Panic would likely be the first widespread response as fear grips the populace. Streets would be filled with people scrambling to stock up on food, water, and other essential supplies. The sight of your friendly neighborhood grocery store could turn into a battleground as desperation takes hold. Survival instincts would kick in, and we might see the formation of survival groups. Families, friends, neighbors, even strangers might band together for mutual protection. These alliances could range from small, tightly knit units to large, loosely organized groups. In these dire circumstances, some individuals may display extraordinary courage and resourcefulness. We may see everyday people transform into leaders, guiding their groups through the darkness. Others, however, might succumb to their baser instincts, becoming threats as dangerous as the zombies themselves. National security forces wouldn't stand idle, of course. They would likely respond with measures designed to contain the threat and maintain order. Quarantines could be imposed, restricting movement and isolating affected areas. Curfews might be enforced to keep people off the streets, minimizing the risk of infection. And then, there's the potential for martial law. The military could take control of the governance, suspending civil law and rights. This drastic measure might be seen as necessary to ensure survival in the face of a widespread outbreak. But the question remains, would these measures be enough to stave off societal breakdown? With the constant threat of infection, the scarcity of resources and the strain on social order, tensions could run high. Conflicts could break out, not just between individuals, but between survival groups, and even between citizens and the security forces. In such a scenario, the lines between friend and foe could blur, and trust could become a luxury. In a world overrun by zombies, the greatest threat might not be the undead, but our own humanity. In the midst of chaos, what would life look like? Let's delve into the aftermath of the initial outbreak, when the reality of survival starts to set in. Imagine the world as a barren wasteland. Cities once teeming with life now stand silent save for the eerie moan of the undead. As the number of survivors dwindle, the establishment of shelters becomes a beacon of hope in an otherwise desolate world. These safe havens are not just walls and roofs, but symbols of human resilience. They are the last bastions of civilization, where the remnants of humanity huddle together for warmth, companionship, and security. However, the world outside these shelters is a far different story. Scavengers roam the deserted streets, their lives a constant game of cat and mouse with the undead. They brave the danger to gather what resources they can find, constantly on the move, never staying in one place for too long. And then, there are the outlaws. Those who have turned their backs on any semblance of order, resorting to desperate measures to survive. They might have been ordinary people before, but the apocalypse has a way of revealing our true nature. These are the individuals who exploit the breakdown of society, using force and intimidation to claim resources and territory. But in such dire times, the human spirit remains unbroken. Pockets of humanity resist, fight back, and refuse to let the undead take over. These are the people who, despite the odds, cling onto hope and strive to reclaim their world. As resources become scarce, the fight for survival intensifies. It's no longer about the survival of the fittest in terms of physical strength. It's about adaptability and resilience. It's about the ability to change and evolve with the circumstances, to find new ways to survive and thrive amidst the chaos.